Aloha, and welcome to Risk and Reality, the podcast where cyber threats meet the real world. Things have changed. Cyber attacks are way up. The days of thinking, it won't happen to me, are over. One wrong click, one stolen password, one bad decision. Your business is one click away from disaster. Cybercrime isn't just an IT problem, it's a business problem. And if you think your company is too small to be attacked, think again. You're not too small to be a target, just too small to make the news. The real cost? Downtime, revenue loss, regulatory fines, lawsuits, reputational damage. The aftermath of a cyber attack can cripple your business before you even know what hit you. Hosted by Don Mangiarelli of Cybersecurity Hawaii, this show dives into the threats lurking in the digital shadows and what they really mean for your business and how you can fight back. Because in the world of cybercrime, the risk is real and so are the consequences. Welcome to Risk and Reality, brought to you by Cybersecurity Hawaii.
All right, everybody. Welcome to Risk and Reality, where we uncover the biggest cyber threats facing businesses today. And today's topic we're going to talk about is business email compromise. It's actually one of the most financially devastating cyber crimes to occur, and it's also the number one attack that is happening against businesses today, and businesses of all sizes. And one common misconception that I hear quite often is that, hey, I'm too small to be targeted, or I don't have any information that a hacker would want. We don't our business doesn't collect data on our customers, or we don't have credit card numbers on file, or whatever is in there. The reality is that small and medium businesses are prime targets. And why is that? That's because most small and medium businesses are looking for the cheapest IT services and not necessarily shopping based on the value of those services. So your typical IT shop is concerned with deploying servers, uh, you know, maybe managing your Microsoft or Google workspace, uh, and they're fixing computer problems when you can't access, your documents or your online stuff. Uh, and so IT service companies are not really focused on cybersecurity. They're reactive and they fix problems as they arise, right? And so you got to make sure that the companies that you're dealing with uh, are are uh, are actually focused on cybersecurity. And because they're not, you have this opportunity that hackers have to come into your business and attack you. Is really where we're at, right? And these cyber attacks are devastating. So I've seen businesses lose hundreds of thousands of dollars. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, I had a contractor call me from right here on Oahu. He had hackers in his bank account, and they transferred out $250,000 out of his bank account because they got his admin credentials to his online bank account. Of course, there was no multi-factor authentication or two-factor authentication uh, deployed on the account, and they just logged right in, transferred the money out, and he was out $250,000. And so let's break it down. What actually is a business email compromise, or what we call in the industry a BEC, and how does it happen, and what can you do as a business owner to prevent it? So first off, a BEC is when hackers get access to an email account. And they might start off with maybe your receptionist's email account. And she get an email and click the wrong link, or maybe she clicked on a document, an invoice that came in that said it was past due, and some malware got downloaded to her computer. It stole her usernames and passwords, and they were able to log into her bank account. I mean, her email account. Sorry. And and once they get in, they start looking to move laterally, right? They want to find out, where's the CEO's bank account, where's the CFO's bank account, or the controller. And once they get into those accounts, then they can send email as that person. So, of course, if the CFO gets an email from the CEO saying, "Hey, we got to transfer this money to this account for this vendor or this deal that's coming up or whatever," they're going to do it because that's what hackers count on. They take advantage of your emotions. And what can businesses do to prevent it? Um, you know, for our clients, we actually lock down the email so that nobody outside the company is able to even log into it. And so it helps to protect against those types of things happening where we deploy multi-factor authentication. We lock it down so only the computers that are in the system can log in. And what that does is it stops about 98% of the attacks. There are still ways around it, but it takes so much work that uh, hackers will usually move on to a or cyber criminals will usually move on to an easier target, right? And the initial access is silent, right? And what they do is the cyber criminals will get in there and they look at what's going on in your email account. They're looking for deals. And if you think about it, your email account is your default file storage. That is where uh, you store contracts, invoices, bank statements, 401k statements, right? And any number of documents can be available in your email. When's the last time you got a signed contract from DocuSign and you deleted that or you saved that document out of the email and then deleted the email out of your email account? Of course, nobody does that, right? We just look at it. We say, "Oh yeah," we save it to our documents in the correct folder, and we leave it in our email. I mean, everybody's got 50 gigs of email, um, and so it's like a treasure trove or a gold mine for cyber criminals, and that's why it's the number one attack these days. And if for a CEO in a company, if they're dealing with mergers and acquisitions, or maybe they're a commercial real estate company and they got deals that are going to close, or maybe there's some other kind of deals that are going on within there. They're buying a company, and those are the kinds of things that attackers are looking at. Those are the kinds of things that criminals are trying to gain advantage over. And when they do, they're able to um, they're able to take advantage of that and email as the executive, and people will trust that because the email is coming from the executive and maybe not think twice about it. Maybe this is kind of weird that he's emailing me on a Friday night at 5 o'clock and we got to get this thing done. And they count on that. And they're looking for high value targets like the CEO, the CFO, the finance team, the sales team, sales management team, and so on and so forth. An example of an attack is a hacker might compromise. We talked about this, a CEO's account, and then he sends an email to the CFO and says, "Hey, wire $100,000 to this vendor today, or we need to transfer $1 million into this account over here for this deal to go through that we've been working on for 6 months." And it's a trusted email account. It's trusted, so people tend not to question that, right? And it's not just about money. The hackers are getting in there and looking at, are there other companies that they can attack from yours, right? So that you're a CEO, you might be sending an invoice to, or a CFO might be sending an invoice to a company that you're supplying services to, and saying, "Hey, this invoice is past due and it needs to be paid, and here's the account we need you to pay it to." There's payroll data in there. There's W-2s. There's tax info. Think about all the job uh, applications that are coming in into the HR email account. I mean, there's so many high target, high value information in email these days. It's incredible, and businesses just don't realize that. And it's important to be able to protect that. And not only does it have customer information and employee information in there, but it may have some confidential company information in there as well from interdepartmental emails, right? And as I said up front in the show, we've got a contractor contacted me and said, asked me for help for his bank account. His email got hacked. They got his bank account information, and they were able to get in and transfer $250,000 out of his bank account. Is that something your company could survive? And especially if you don't have cyber insurance, right? And you don't have any help covering that. You have to cover that yourself. That's an amount of money that a lot of small businesses wouldn't be able to handle. Uh, Property management company had as a client had $8 million in his bank account that hackers had access to. Uh, Same thing. They got into his email and got his bank information. They got copies of checks and were able to create checks and pass them off right here on Oahu to large. They were buying large high ticket items at like Home Depot and Costco and Lowe's and some of the other places around town. And he at one point he brought out 17 credit cards. Um, all of them had not been activated yet, and 10 of them were still in sealed envelopes. And he told me they all had charges on them. I mean, could you imagine that? Having to spend, you know, 3 or 4 months, 8 hours a day clearing your name to your bank account, to your local retailers in town, to credit card companies. His phone got they got his admin account for his phone. His phone got SIM swapped, so which is a big fancy word. We covered in the last show. SIM swap is about when an attacker steals your phone number and redirects your phone number to a phone that they control. So he's logging into his bank account, and the codes are going to the hacker's phone. You know, so not only is he losing uh, money, right, but he's losing valuable time that he could spend on scaling, building his business because he's having to talk to people to try to clear his name every day. Um, that's something that a lot of businesses are not able to withstand. That's a lot. And even after he was able to shut down online access to his bank account, they were calling in and still getting into the bank account. Luckily, he didn't lose any money out of it. Uh, so it the things that are going on these days are very, very serious, and it's happening to businesses with 10 employees. Why is it important? I mean, it's the CEO, the CFO, the executive team, your board of directors. Those are the people who are going to have to deal with a situation like that. Not your IT person. Your IT person is there to fix computers. This is a business risk problem, not an IT problem, and it's something that you as a business owner need to start taking seriously to protect your business. You got to make sure that you have cyber insurance, and you need to make sure that you have coverages that are sufficient to cover you should your business go down for 20 days. What if they break in and they get your usernames and passwords to your backup solution and they delete all your backups and then they ransom you and you don't have access to your data and there's no way to get it back unless you pay them? I mean, this is serious. That's why 60% of businesses, small businesses, go out of business within 6 months of an attack. That's why, nearly 40% of the cyber attacks that happen these days are against small businesses with less than 10 employees. This is serious. So there's reputational damage, operational downtime. CISA says that the average amount of downtime for a business is 20 days. Could your business survive if it wasn't able to conduct business for 20 days? No revenue incoming? That would kill a lot of businesses. And then you have compliance fines and legal liabilities on top of that. And you have legal bills because you got to hire a lawyer to make sure that you're avoiding liability when you're notifying your clients. Because here in the state of Hawaii, you have to notify the clients that were hacked, that were involved in the cyber attack. You have to notify them. You're going to need a legal team to draft that letter, and then you got to. Luckily, here in Hawaii, you can notify people electronically, but you still need a legal team to draft that letter because you want to avoid any liability in there. And then if you have enough customers, they get together and create a class, and you have a class action lawsuit that you have to defend yourself against. This can get really expensive really quickly. And then some things that you may not think about. You can't always just restore your data from a backup, because if you do that, even wiping the system and then reinstalling your Windows and the state of your system, you may reinstall the hacker's access again. So you've got to hire a forensics company to come in and make sure that your data is clean. That's $100,000 right there. And what are you going to do? Buy new equipment on top of that? I mean, that's a large scale cost. Much easier to take proactive actions and get ahead of that before it ever happens. A lot of the objections I hear, especially from small and medium businesses, are the biggest mindset is it's not going to happen to me. It is. The probability of getting attacked over the next 5 years is 94% for all businesses. No matter if it's you by yourself or you're 1,000 employee business or even bigger than that. 94%, you're going to get attacked. So you got to get out in front of it and do something about it. Small businesses and medium businesses are easy targets. We talked about this up front. They're easy targets because they often don't spend the money on security because they don't think it's going to happen to them. It is going to happen. It's going to happen to you. Hackers want more than money. They're not just after money, although that is one thing. They want to ransom you because they want to get your money and be able to hold your data for ransom. So they come in, they delete your backups, they do all kinds of nasty stuff. So you got to have immutable backups that don't require a username and password to log into. Um, the inbox contents are extremely valuable to hackers. That's why business email compromise is the number one attack these days, because it's the default file storage for most businesses, and most businesses don't even realize how much valuable information they have in their email. Can be used for fraud, financial fraud especially, impersonation, or they can even just take your information, get all the attachments out of your email and sell that on the dark web to the highest bidder. And what's amazing is most of our information is already out on the dark web. So if you're not changing your password regularly or using a password manager, and especially MFA, which MFA by itself on its own, multi-factor authentication, can thwart about 90% of cyber attacks. And then there are other ways to lock down your email environment that we use personally for our clients that can pretty much stop about 98% of the attacks. If an attacker impersonates your business and scams your clients, you could be liable for that, especially if you don't put any of these types of security practices in use into your to protect your email. So if these are preventable attacks, right? It's time that we stop looking for the cheapest IT services that are out there and start looking for value in our IT services and making sure that we are getting cybersecurity focused IT companies to help us protect our businesses. Because you're not just protecting your IT, you're protecting your business with this. So it's really something we gotta get serious about. And cyber insurance, is cyber insurance going to cover your BEC losses? Not necessarily. Cyber insurance policies have sublimits on them, and a lot of them are around phishing. And if you're not using security awareness training for your employees, you may not be covered. They may deny your claim. So it's something to take very seriously. So let me just finish up here at the end. If you would like to schedule, maybe come and schedule an appointment to talk about your company, how you can prevent these kinds of attacks, and how you can secure your company and secure your business and mitigate a lot of this business risk. Go to the website here, schedule yourself an appointment, and you'll be talking with me, and I'll lead you down the road, and we'll see what we can do to help your business. Um, you know, and finally, the last straw is compliance. The fines for compliance can be enormous, um, if you're out of compliance, especially if you're out of compliance with your cyber insurance policy, which is your first step in compliance, right? If they may deny your claim, and you may be end up on the hook for $1 million. Is that something your business could withstand? So get on the internet, come to our website, schedule yourself an appointment, and let's talk about how we can help you secure your business. All right. Until next time, uh, I bid you a hui ho and aloha, and I hope to see you on the next episode. Take care, everyone. Aloha.